like to object. I don't want to interrupt Ms. Gabor, but I would object to move to strike the answer as non-responsive and request that she be responsive to the question.
All right, sustained. Just please try to keep your answers as responsive as possible to the question. Don't volunteer anything, okay? It's important your attorney will ask you the question. Go ahead, Mr. Grayson.
So when you got the invitation with a half an hour's notice, was your husband also invited?
No, he wasn't home.
He wasn't home. Okay, so you went by yourself.
Yes.
Who usually drives when you're in Los Angeles, you or your husband?
Frederick.
Do you ever drive here in Los Angeles?
No, because the studio sent the limousine for and when I work, which is always.
And when you're not working, your husband drives you?
Yes.
But you do know how to drive?
I hope so.
Okay. So which car did you take from your house to the luncheon?
The Corniche.
Is that a white Rolls?
Yes.
Is that the one we've been talking about in this
The
case?
jailbird.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last response.
You want to reread it, please?
The jailbird.
And by that you mean the jailbird Rolls?
I call him like that now.
Okay. Were you dressed for the party when you got the invitation?
Very much so. In a new outfit from Rome, very short skirt, lots of petticoats, lots of flowers. Let's put it overdressed.
And are you going to bring that dress tomorrow and show us?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have a present for Mr. Ross?
At home, I found a wonderful little Chinese sort of statue, and I wrapped it for him first, and I drove down.
Were you also going to get him some artwork?
No.
Okay. Did you have some artwork in the car?
Yes.
Who was that for?
Miss Florence Lustig that morning sent a picture of my two sisters, blonde, and my older sister, the redhead, and I wanted to have it framed for my mother because she arrived Sunday for Frederick's birthday. I gave a party for him.
And so you also, besides giving the present to your manager, Mr. Ross, you also had a present for your mother?
Always.
You said you were pulled over by the Beverly Hills Police?
Yes.
Did they use red lights to pull you over?
No.
And who spoke to who first?
The officer said to me, do you realize, very harsh, do you realize that your car, the back of the car, the little tag is expired? I said, officer, I remember clearly that I paid $1,000. It costs that much to register the car every year.
Did you ever pay that fee late?
No, I paid with my taxes and this. I pay everything in time because I hate to not pay.
But sometimes you're out of the city, aren't you?
But this time it was in January. I paid it because January the 4th I went to Palm Beach to open my house.
But Ms. Gabor, when you're out of the city, do you sometimes miss bills?
No, because my secretary sends it. Never. I wish I would.
Would you be surprised to learn that you had paid your registration in 1989 a few days late?
Could be. I have not the world's greatest secretary.
Okay. But as far as you know, it was to be paid and your secretary pays it.
No, I paid.
Right. But your secretary prepares the paper?
Prepares and I sign.
Okay. And you remember signing a check for...
I always do because it always hurts.
And why does it hurt?
Because in Palm Beach it only costs $36 and in California it costs between $2,000. It always goes down as older the car gets.
Yeah. Would you be surprised where the figures are sometimes, even here in Los Angeles for that car, sometimes $200 or $300?
No, I'm surprised at nothing.
Okay. Nothing surprises you, right?
No, sir.
But the secretary prepares the check and you sign it and off it goes.
Yes.
And if it's a few days late, it's possible because your secretary is in charge of it.
It goes to Bill Lennon, my accountant, and he mails it.
You sign the check, but it goes to the accountant?
Yes.
And he mails it?
Because he keeps a book about all the bills.
Okay. So actually, when you pay a DMV bill, there's a lot of people involved, aren't there?
Well, my secretary and Bill Lennon, who keeps my books.
Okay. And also, you're involved. You have to sign it, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
And you're not here all the time. You live in Palm Beach part of the year.
Yeah, in the winter we are in Palm Beach, and in London and in Rome.
And you travel when you work.
I work in London twice, the winter, and once in Rome.
So while you're working in different cities, your secretary is taking, and your accountant are trying to take care of your affairs.
They get the bills to Mr. Lennon, and Mr. Lennon mails it to me to Palm Beach, and I sign it, it goes straight back.
Okay. So you're not surprised that maybe you paid it a few days late this year?
No.
You know what happens when you pay your registration late?
I didn't understand.
Okay. If you pay your registration late, does the DMV send it back to you?
No, because I never drive the car.
Okay. So the officer stopped you because you didn't have the right tag on the car? Okay. How come you didn't have that tag there?
Because the car was locked up for 6 months, and I thought my secretary forgot to glue the tag on the car like you would.
How long were you in Los Angeles before June the 14th? Had you just arrived?
Well, I was back and forth to England because I make many television shows in England. Before June, I came back.
The day of the arrest was June
We
14th.
just got back from Rome. I made a 2-hour special for the Vatican in 5 languages.
And how long were you in Los Angeles before June 14th, the day of the arrest?
We were only a couple of weeks, maybe.
Maybe, okay. And those couple of weeks the car was in the garage?
Yes, because Frederick doesn't want me to drive. He thinks I'm a bad driver, which I'm not.
Okay. Do you have another car at home?
Frederick has another Rolls-Royce, yes.
Okay. Is that a blue four-door?
A navy blue
You-
four-door, yes.
Sometimes you take that car?
He takes it always.
Okay. Did you explain this to the officer?
Yes.
Did he listen to you?
He was terribly harsh to me.
While you were explaining about your registration, what was he doing?
He was telling me if I have a driver's license, and I knew I didn't have it with me.
Did you eventually show him a driver's license?
In the glove department, we had for a joke a driver's license which somebody stole from me 6 or 8 months ago, and it was altered, and we kept it as a joke.
That portion will be stricken.
So in the glove compartment, you did have a license, didn't you?
Yes,
Was that license expired?
long ago.
Was that the license that was put up here
Yes,
with your address on it?
Yes.
You're not too happy about that, are you?
No, because they broke in my house already. My address was on it.
Now at home you had your real license, right?
I didn't understand it.
Well, you had an expired license in the glove compartment.
And I had a license in my handbag at home in my house.
Okay. Now when you left the house in a hurry to get to the party, why didn't you take your license with you?
I didn't think about anything. I was just rushing to be in time for my manager.
And how long had you been, okay. Now, your license you had at home, did it have attached to it a certificate of renewal?
Yes.
I'm showing you what's marked as Defendant's Exhibit B. Do you see this certificate of renewal?
Yes.
Has your name on that?
Yes. Zsa Zsa Gabor.
And when does this certificate of renewal expire?
In 1988.
On your birthday in '88?
Yes, but my birthday is February the 6th, the same day when Mr. Reagan was born.
You know, Josh, are you surprised to learn that even this certificate of renewal is expired?
I'm not surprised.
Ms. Gabor, if you want to take a drink or...
No, thank you. I'm not. I don't.
No, I meant a drink of water.
I know. I'm just pulling you along.
So you were telling us that you were petrified and frightened by Officer Kramer.
Yes, I was.
Tell us, what was it about Officer Kramer that frightened you?
I don't know.
Did he speak to you in a harsh tone?
Yes, but not too harsh. Not too harsh.
Was he loud?
Yes.
Okay.
He hated me. You could see it in his eyes. He just hated me.
And you're a movie actress, aren't you?
I'm also a television actress. I'm also a writer.
You ever heard the expression presence?
Yes, of course I know.
Person has presence?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Presence is if somebody comes in a room and people look up at him or at her.
What kind of presence did Officer Kramer have?
He was very handsome, but he was very scary to me. I don't know why.
Had a scary presence.
I don't know how to describe him. He was very handsome, and he scared the life out of me.
Now, you heard Dr. Cohensadeh testify, didn't you?
Yes,
And he said that he was getting bad vibrations from Officer Kramer.
I can't say that. I was just scared.
Okay, and you can't tell us why you were scared.
No,
But it was definitely something that Officer Kramer was doing that made you scared.
He was very harsh to me. Usually people don't talk to like this, the lady.
And they usually don't talk to you that way either, do they?
Well, nobody ever talked to me like him in my life.
After he got the information about your registration and your license,
He never came back.
he never came back?
Never.
Did he tell you where he was going?
No,
Tell you what he was doing?
no.
Did he say, just a minute, Miss Gabor, I'm going to call into the station and get some
He
information?
didn't say a word.
Did he say that, may I have people's exhibit, one of the driver's license? Well, Zsa Zsa, this writing says that you're a female, is that true?
I hope so.
Says that you're blonde, is that true?
I hope so. But I'm not completely blonde, but I'm blonde now.
How about, did it say your eyes are green?
I think so.
Height 5'5"?
5'4".
But he didn't tell you that he was concerned about these inked-in
He
figures.
didn't
did he?
talk to me.
Not one word.
Not a word.
Did that strike you as a little unusual?
No. I thought he went back to write a ticket for me.
Okay. Did he tell you that this was a fix-it ticket?
I don't know what that means.
Did he tell you, Miss Gabor, your registration expired. If you get the car registered, you can have the case dismissed?
He didn't say a word to me.
Okay. Did he say, Miss Gabor, I see that your license is expired. If you get a new one, the case will be dismissed?
He didn't say a word to me.
Did he say any kind words to you at all?
He didn't speak to me at all. And I asked, what takes so long?
When you asked him what takes so long, did you get out of the car to ask him?
Yes.
Did you walk towards him?
No.
You just stood by
I
the
stayed
side?
by the car.
Did you speak loud enough for him to hear?
I hope so. I'm an actress.
Did he say anything to you when you
He
asked him?
didn't talk to me at all.
Did he make any hand gestures to you?
No. He didn't acknowledge me. I was like
Did
nothing.
he? Did you think could he see you?
He was quite a bit far away, and he was on the telephone. Under whatever it is.
Did he have sunglasses on?
I don't remember if he had sunglasses on at all.
When you were talking to him, asking what's taking so long, did he look at you?
I don't think so.
He just completely ignored it.
I was nothing.
So what did you do then?
I went back in the car and waited.
Okay. You're still hot?
Very hot.
No air conditioner?
No,
Hot dress?
very. 3-piece.
What did you do then?
Then I looked out of the car and says, may I go?
Wait a minute. You were sitting in the car and you looked out of the car?
Yes.
Where was he?
He was still back there all the way back.
Well, how could he hear you if you were still sitting in the car?
I don't know. I was so upset by that. I just said, may I please go? And he said, F off.
So when you asked him, may I go, do you know, well,
He said, F off. You know
Right.
what it means.
I know what that means, Judge. I'm trying, you were in the car and you said, can I go?
I said, officer, please. I said, officer, please, may I go?
And he was 4 or 5
Don't
motorcycle.
forget, this is a man with a gun in his pocket. He's a license to kill. I'm not that stupid.
Okay, but you said he was
We'll
4.
strike the answer as non-responsive.
Overall.
But you told us his motorcycle was about 4 or 5 motorcycle
Very
lengths
far away from me, yes.
But you projected so he could hear?
Well, I hope he heard me, but he said F off. I could hear him.
And when you say F off, you're telling us that Officer Kramer said you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that, excuse me, Ms. Gabor, but when you say F off, do you mean to tell us that Officer Kramer said fuck off to you?
Yes.
And what does that word mean to you?
I thought in England, I always hear that you can go.
In fact, doesn't it mean get out of here in a hurry?
I don't know. I just thought I can go.
Okay, so you've heard that expression before?
No, only television.
Okay. In England?
Also on television. I don't hear these words
Okay.
often, thank God.
But you've seen it enough on television to know that it means to go.
I understood I can go.
Did it mean to you that you should stop talking? When you said
No, I
F off?
thought I can go. And so I started to drive my car pretty slowly because I was hot, I was upset, and I started to drive, and I said, I'm not going to the picture framing. I'm going up to my doctor up on Olympic. And I turned, and all of a sudden, like the Gestapo, the lights, the sirens, everything. He came up to me and scared the